Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing quote-unquote red tape in the Thai tourism sector and whether or not it's having a detrimental impact upon that sector. And I think long story short, we can just go ahead and say yes, if you're comparing 2021's tourism sector to 2019's tourism sector, and you were to say, well, what's the difference? Well, it's red tape. And that red tape, good for good, bad, or whatever, it's stemming from the overall pandemic situation, we're having to deal with here in the world. Now, strides have been made, and I think this is worth noting. No other country that I'm aware of on the landmass of Southeast Asia has incorporated any kind of program to let in tourists at all that I'm aware of. Vietnam's fully closed. My understanding, Cambodia is basically closed. Laos basically closed. Myanmar, Malaysia. You can't really get in as a tourist. You may be able to get into one of those jurisdictions if you have some other purpose, business visas, for example, things associated with like marriage visa, things like that. But if you're looking to just be a tourist, right now, Thailand is really the only option that I see in Southeast Asia. And please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Now, that said, can you just get on a plane and come to Thailand and sit on a beach the minute you walk out of the airport? No, not really. As we've discussed in other videos on this channel, depending on where you come in Thailand, you may be subjected to a 14-day quarantine. Meanwhile, in the Phuket sandbox, which has been a positive for the overall sector, yeah, there's some truncated, I think you do a night in quarantine in the sense that you just go straight from the airport to your hotel, they test you, and if you're vaccinated and negative for COVID, then you can have your run of Phuket Island, so you can wander around Phuket. I think that scheme is certainly, and we're starting to see it spread. It's, Koh Samui is doing something similar, and there's various islands you can now leave from Phuket to go to those other islands and sort of have a vacation. How this plays out longer term remains to be seen. But yeah, I would say it's safe to say there's a lot of red tape. It's not having a positive impact on the tourism sector. But again, and I made a lot of videos on this, there's really no one to blame. And I do give credit where credit is due. Thai policymakers have initiated the Phuket sandbox, and they have pushed it, and they're continuing to push it, and it looks to me like they are going to try to make this program work as best they can to try and resurrect the tourism sector here in Thailand, and that is definitely a laudable goal, and I'll be the first one to say I'm happy to see it, and hopefully we'll see things improve in the tourism sector sooner rather than later.